All right, I'm Better Call Chad, and I am back for Fixing a Subscriber's Lawn. This is Season 2, Episode 1. This is the second one I've done. If you haven't seen the first one, go check it out. But this is where a subscriber reaches out to me, and I go out and fix their yard. And as you can see, this is a yard that needs fixing. Not too bad. And you'll see I'm going to do a walk around so you get a closer look. But as you can see, this lawn has some thin spots, a lot of compaction, chlorosis. Just the lawn is not growing up thick. And see that some of parts of this lawn's looking pretty good, but as you can see, a lot of the sunnier areas do have some damage and some stress that really does need to be filled in. I can take a spot like this. This is perfect for applying soil or something to get this thickened back up. And we're in a bad drought here in Florida. And as you can see, it's drought stressed. This part of the lawn actually looks overall pretty good. So now, as you can see closer when we walk around, you start to really see how from the road the lawn looks okay. But when we get over it, it's really thin and compacted and not growing great. And you're seeing a lot of this yellowing. That's called chlorosis. And chlorosis can be from root rot, but also overall stress to the root. Now, we're in a bad drought, so this isn't root rot. This is that the roots are so shallow and small from the compaction that they're stressing and damaging. Their spray company applied pre-emergents, which I believe definitely did some damage to the root system, because you shouldn't apply pre-emergents to thin and compacted lawns, which sets this yard backwards. So by aerating and top dressing it, we have to break up that pre-emergent barrier and apply more soil to get it back in shape. But a lawn like this, to get it back into shape, it needs aeration and top dressing. I mean, that's really the only way you're gonna get a lawn this thin and this chlorotic back into shape, is with some good topsoil. And you see, actually, the homeowner already put some down from watching my videos, but he just needed so much, and he got a good start, but he just needed so much. He decided to reach out, and he was in an area where I could come out and service him. And this is an area where there was a broken sprinkler head. I got it fixed for him, but the sprinkler head was broken there, and that area of the sun was damaged. And again, when it gets damaged like that, you really need some soil to fill it back in. Now, the first step is marking the sprinkler heads. Gotta flag the sprinkler heads when doing an aeration, not so much the top dressing, so I do not destroy them with the machine. And some of them you're just gonna get soaked doing. There's a 360 head that just, gets me nice and soaked doing it. All right, now here I'm starting with the aeration. Now, the way you'll see how I like to do the aeration is I do passes around the outside. This machine is not user-friendly at all. They're hard to use. It's great. But now you can see I did those passes around the outside because as I'm going up and down the lawn, I'm using the area I already aerated in the passes as a turnaround zone, because you're going to kill yourself trying to make sure you get to the edge every time. So by giving myself a turnaround zone, it makes it a lot easier to use this machine. Huge tip when aerating. And then I come back by and I just go around a little bit and get some of the worst areas. Now, I got 10 yards of dirt we're doing on this yard. You probably get away with 4 to 6, but more the better. So I was able to rent this machine again, the dingo to scoop and the top dresser to lay it down. And as you can see, it's a long process of scooping up dirt into that machine and then walking around with it and top dressing. It can be quite tedious in some of these areas. And I'm going to show you here in the front yard as it looks like as I go by. So what I like to do, the best thing is you can see how one pass does. It looks actually, it's laying down a good amount of soil. And I'm just going around doing pass by pass. But overall, we end up doing actually 2 passes over this yard, which is really quite incredible in a nice thick layer. But as you can see, even this one pass would really make a good difference. But it's really cool to watch the dirt as it goes down. All right, now I'm gonna give you a little bit of a closer up on how this machine, really works and how you've got to operate it. In these smaller spots, it can be, a little bit tedious and a pain. But at the end of the day, it's way better by doing it by hand, and it still levels out easily. So as you can see, it only drops when I'm pushing it out like that. Stop the lever, it stops. And then the small area, there's no point of turning this machine around because it's quite big. So I just go back and forth in these areas, dropping soil, putting it up, moving that back, line it up to the edge, boom, open it up, and you walk it back. So, it's just really a repeated process of that. When you're in a bigger area, it's kind of nice, but it's good. I'd like try to again get all the small areas out of the way. See, I already went the other way a few times and gave myself some room for forgiveness. There's a few bigger chunks in there, and I just, throw them onto the driveway and get rid of them later. You can see that it's a conveyor belt that pushes that soil out, and you can start to see when it gets low. And again, just touching up smaller areas, things like that, and got to go back and refill. Now, this is me doing my second pass over this front yard. As you can see, when I showed you the other part, we did the first pass. But what I did is I was starting to run low on soil, so I was like, let me just get the worst areas first. So that area to the left was in real bad shape, and the closest to the house was in the worst shape. So I figured I'm just going to work my way back closer. And make sure I cover the worst areas. But I'm trying to show you here how it top dresses. It moves on that conveyor belt, and that brush really puts it out evenly, and also that brush really helps break it down. There's just a really cool view of how it dumps that soil out and really how it looks. So now here I am. I said I make sure I'm getting the worst areas first, and then actually I had plenty of enough soil to do the whole front yard twice and get the other area on the right side twice as well. As you see, this way's not ideal. It's a lot more, back and forth. Can't really turn the machine around because it's so big. And when you put it on your driveway, you have to shovel it because with the dingo, I don't want to scrape up the customer's driveway. So that's one thing. Here we couldn't dump it on the road because it kind of splits into these lanes, but the customer was awesome enough to help me out, and I really appreciate that a lot, helping me out through the job. But as you can see, you can shovel this. If you get a few yards of dirt and just want to rent the top dresser, do it by hand with wheelbarrows, you can shovel the dirt out and put it into there. That's not a problem. Now, a little camera switch here. My other camera totally ran out of memory. But as you can see, I'm doing the spreader now. Fertilizing the yard. I'm using the 24-0-11 at 50% slow release. Because of the chlorosis and stress in this yard already, I'm doing it at a really low rate. Probably closer to the lower rate, but just enough to get some nutrients and food in there. Mix of nitrogen and potassium. But it was pretty minimal. Just a little something on top. And then that's it. I'm blowing off the driveway here to clean up as best I can, and the job is completed. Now I'm gonna follow up again, just like I will with this other one, in 6 months. So I'm gonna do a 2-week follow-up, come back to this yard. That'll be episode 2, and show you what this yard looks like. Now here it is after. I forgot to walk around and take pictures, of course, so here's a stopped camera angle. This is the front yard, double pass with it, 10 yards over both sections of the front yard. And that's it. And then just a time lapse of me loading everything up. Guys, if you like the series, let me know. I got a lot of love on the first one. I want to continue. I think it's really cool watching this stage of it, but the best is going to be the follow-ups. You're going to really see the progress going on and things that can happen. Maybe we end up getting a lot of rain and some fungus comes up and I have to treat the fungus. I'm going to show you everything, the good and the bad. So if the job doesn't turn out quite the way we want, I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you what I do to fix it so you can see. But when you have a yard like this, and if you looked at the beginning of this video and that was what your yard looked like, you absolutely need a top dress. Now, you don't need all this machinery and things like that. I rented everything: the aerator, the dingo, the top dresser, the trailer, all of that. All you need is a truck, which you can rent that from Home Depot. So you can rent everything, or you can do it by hand, and it may take a few days or a whole weekend. So let me know if you have any questions about or anything like that. Like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate everyone for the support. Everyone, have a great rest of your day.